Namaskar everyone, my name is Ala. I'm a yoga teacher, Ayurveda yoga therapist and a life coach. Ayurveda and yoga as sister sciences, they go hand in hand and they change their lifestyle, they change their diet. If we live according to nature's rhythms and we take care of the diet, how it's meant for our constitution.
Namaskar, welcome to Abhyas School of Yoga. My name is Ashmeet and I'm a yoga teacher at Abhyas School of Yoga. So today we are having Ala with us and we will be talking about how yoga and Ayurveda comes along and plays a vital role into our daily life routine. So Ala, please introduce yourself to our viewers and please tell us about how you implemented yoga and Ayurveda into your life and how it started.
I started my yoga journey back in 2004. And at that time, I only started to use it as therapy. I suffered from scoliosis, so that means I have curvature in my spine. And because of this condition, I constantly felt chronic pain in my lower back, my middle back, my upper back, my neck. I was very stiff. And I found out that yoga could help, so I started to practice the asana. I wouldn't say it was yoga practice, I would say it was more asana practice. I practiced asana for many years. And then at some point, when I was living in Australia, I became really unwell. At that time, I didn't know anything much about Ayurveda or Ayurvedic practices. I've heard about Ayurveda, but I didn't know what it actually meant to practice it, to implement it. So I was suffering from a lot of different conditions, like digestive problems. I had so much pain in my body. Headaches, migraines, menstrual pain, you name it, skin conditions, and I became really chronically fatigued to the point where I had to cancel my work shifts and just not go to work, just stay in bed. I was crying, I was feeling desperate for solutions, but nothing was helpful. So nothing that I've tried, and I've tried many different modalities and practices. And I was still practicing yoga as asana practice, but it was still not enough for me at that point. I was in a very devastated state. And then at some point, the solutions came and I started to make little changes into my life. So I ordered some Ayurvedic herbs from online. I started to do Abhyanga, the oil massage. I started to have a daily routine. As per Vata imbalance, that's what I had. And the way I found out about it was through taking Ayurveda health test. And so I already started to feel a little bit better. So I had that hope that because just by doing these little things, like eating more cooked food than raw food, as prescribed more for Vata imbalance, and things like that, that things started to shift and change. So later I discovered about this Ayurveda yoga therapy course that was happening in India. And I left everything behind. I packed my bags and I took off to India and I started to study and to learn more about using both yoga as asana, pranayama, meditation practices and Ayurvedic principles, diet change, lifestyle change, and things like that, combined together that go actually hand in hand. And I started to apply both into my lifestyle, into trying to change my lifestyle for the better. And I started to see tremendous changes straight away, just by changing even the climate. Coming to India, being in a warm climate, which was so much more helpful for Vata as opposed to living in Melbourne at that time. Things started to shift and change. So I stayed in India for a while, for about a year and a half, and just dedicated myself to bringing myself back to balance. At some point, I went to Ayurveda hospital. I did Panchakarma, the Ayurvedic detox, that further helped to propel my health and to see myself more vital, more energized. All those symptoms I was experiencing started to dissipate, and I became a lot more hopeful. So here I am now, and now as Ayurveda yoga therapist, this is why I help people as well, because I know that it's possible to see these changes happen, even if you were in a state of complete devastation, if you feel like nothing ever will change and you just can't find a way out from this suffering. I know for sure that it is possible. It was possible for me and for many other people who implement Ayurveda and yoga as sister sciences. They go hand in hand and they change their lifestyle, they change their diet, they change the thoughts they're thinking, the company they're keeping, and they practice the asanas, pranayama, meditation as prescribed for their particular current imbalance, whether it's vata, pitta or kapha. And then they can see already beautiful results from that. So this is my lengthy introduction.
So as you talked about the imbalances, what imbalances did you what really happened when you were imbalanced, and what are those imbalances?
Yeah, so basically when we are born, we can say that we all have our unique constitution, which is our Prakriti. So that gets determined at the time of your conception. And later what happens is lifestyle happens, right? So we are born in a certain climate, and we have certain foods that we eat, and the environment there's a particular environment. So as we go along our life, we might start traveling, we might start to have different life experiences, different kind of diet that we're trying, and over time, if we are not careful about keeping our original constitution in a balanced state, things get out of balance. That's called Vikriti. So Vikriti is what happens after. So Prakriti is according to original creation, and Vikriti is what happens after the creation.
Oh.
So the influence that happens, that comes afterwards.
Oh.
So if we don't know what our Prakriti is, and we don't take care of ourselves, so when first your symptoms or signs of imbalance appears, if we ignore it, and many people ignore it, right? So they just don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
They just keep going with the way they're going.
Yes.
And if not taken care on time, more signs come. And then it can develop into more symptoms, more severe symptoms. Then it can develop in disease, and then it develops into chronic disease. So when you see people with chronic disease, it's because it's already taken so many years of neglecting, bringing everything into harmony, yeah, in the way it was created, how it's supposed to be like, according to nature. So people don't live according to nature. That's why they experience this. If we live according to nature's rhythms, and we take care of the diet, how it's meant for our constitution, we take care of the kind of relationships we have, that it's not toxic relationships, so that we have this feeling, elevated feeling.
Yes.
And we take care of our body in the ways that we look after it as prescribed for Ayurveda for your particular constitution. And that's what happened to me, and I didn't know. And I thought that I was doing everything right, so I was always trying to live a healthy lifestyle. And I tried to eat thinking like, okay, this diet should be good for me. Raw food should be great because it's raw, it's from nature. But apparently for Vata, it's actually not great. And I didn't know until I learned about it. So when you do something for a prolonged period of time, it's not good. So yeah, that's how I learned.
Okay. How digestive disorders is related to the three doshas? Which three dosha is related to the to that particular disorder?